the first part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yes, I'm coming to you with drama. I don't usually do this on my channel, but I love the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and this was one of the most controversial seasons yet. But so far they ain't talked about nothing but the JJs, the food, and had Botox and lips and stuff, and Candy done uplifted them milk breastises, and so that's all she's done. But they ain't really talked about much yet, but they're about to get into Sheree, and she's living at the Chateau Sheree and everything like that. So stay tuned. Right, first of all, we're gonna call a thing. They about to get into it. They just talk more about Phaedra and what she's done this season as far as like her foundation and things like that. They went through the Chateau Sheree thing. To me, that's so old and played out. Like, get over it. Y'all both got a house. You both are African-American women who are successful in whatever ways, but you're successful. You both have 2 houses. Just like appreciate each other and appreciate the come up, because everybody's not gonna come up in a year, can you? Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, and that's okay. But as long as you got your stuff together, it is what it is. Now I think it's about to get a little bit more juicy. Alright guys, so I'm cooking, so that's why I'm at the stove in the kitchen. But so they're basically going back and forth with Phaedra and Kenya about the whole thing with Apollo and the divorce party and all that kind of stuff. So you know how they gonna do on the first episode. They ain't gonna get too deep, although you know those are very deep subjects and things to talk about. But it's just one of those things, you know, was Kenya right or wrong? In my opinion, I don't think Kenya meant bad. I don't think Kenya meant anything bad by the quote-unquote divorce party. I know that was a big deal with everybody. Like, why would you throw your friends a divorce party and stuff like that? But I've heard and seen people do stuff like that, and it depends on where it's at. You know, like what kind of divorce it was. Was it a bad divorce? You know, was the person who's getting divorced, are they like extremely happy that they're divorced? Maybe you would give a divorce party at that time. I'm not quite sure, but I don't think Kenya just totally meant any ill will. But I think Phaedra does need to let a lot of that stuff go, because obviously it wasn't just Kenya. Obviously, from what I'm hearing on the blogs, quiet as it's kept. Because Apollo was already dating somebody else and doing all this kind of stuff anyway. And, you know, he's a sneaky criminal. So maybe he kind of used Kenya as a, you know, ploy to kind of put Phaedra in that direction while he was really in another direction. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think some of them need to listen to that. They need to put on a Betty White. Is that her name? Betty White. Is that her name? Right? Betty, maybe it's right. You know, no pain, no gain. You know, they need to listen to some of that old school music and get their life. But yeah, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Probably some old Phaedra and Kenya get into the mix. But this is real. This is raw. Stay tuned. But seriously, why are we still talking about Phaedra and Kenya? You know, like I said before in the previous clip, I honestly think that Kenya she meant well by the whole divorce party. Whether people think that it's right, like she was in the right or wrong, for whatever reason, I don't think she necessarily meant ill will. And, you know, it is what it is. So now we're going to see what's going to be popping next. Okay, so now they talking about, I see you. My husband think I'm crazy, but I don't care. Now they talk about Portia in her anger management situation. And it's good that she went to anger management. And I do believe that Kenya pokes and, you know, provokes people. You know, but it is about how you handle yourself. But Kenya do be, you know, poking and prodding. But now they about to get into a little bit, probably not a whole lot. Remember, this is just the first show. They're about to get into the Candy and Portia situation. But what I have to say is that Kenya definitely provokes people, and she pushes people to their limit to see what she can do. It's kind of like Kenya has a two-sided way. Like, she can be nice and genuine and professional, but on the flip side, she's like, let me see how far I can push you today. Portia, kudos to her for going in and doing anger management. I think that's great. And P.S., they probably made her do it in order to stay up on this show. But anyway, obviously she needs it. So whether it was for the show or not, kudos to her for going. So now Candy is coming for Portia because she wants to know you know, at the beginning of the season, they were cool, and why she didn't get the same respect as she had given Phaedra about certain situations. So, I don't know. This is kind of going slow. I need to speed up a little bit. It should have just been a 2-hour show, and they should have just had it done. Because, you know, this was a crazy, crazy, crazy season. So, we'll see how this, you know, turns out. But kudos to Portia for going to anger management, boo. Okay, look, was it me or at the end of the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion, part 1, were you just like, is that the end? And I was waiting for Janet Jackson to bust and be like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, edit. Like, really, that was the end? So basically, it just ended with Portia and Kandi going back and forth. And you can tell that, and it showed previews of next week, that next week they're really gonna get into, I guess, the Portia and Kandi thing. I don't know how deep it's gonna get to, because I know everyone is waiting for that one part where Portia talks about this you know, legal document that was sent to her from Kandi, where she was not supposed to talk about everything that was going on and stuff like that. And then Kandi was like, what? I didn't send any, you know, legal documents to you, blah, blah, blah. And come to find out, Phaedra had made the whole thing up. I know everyone's waiting for that, and I definitely am too. But, you know, this is Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion show. Any of the reunion shows, you know that they kind of like drag it out as much as possible. But basically, in a nutshell, they just kind of like, you know, it's kind of one of those things where, like, you know, you have to talk about something, but you get the okie dokie stuff out the way, like, oh, you got Botox, who got a boob job, oh, who did this, like, that's all it was at first. And then of course we went into a little bit of the Chateau Charade situation, and Kenya basically said at the end of the day, you know, like, kudos, we both got our houses, whatever, even though mine took a year, yours took 5 years, like, throw shade still, throw shade. But anywho, that's besides the point. Moving on from that, then they got into Portia and Kandi, and how basically Portia was talking about how she went through anger management, and every time that she's trying to do something positive or moving in a positive direction or something that could celebrate her, that the girls never celebrate her. And I know from watching seasons before that Kandi and a lot of girls have tried to celebrate her or point her in the right direction, or like when she was going through her own divorce, I know Kandi definitely stepped up and tried to be there for her. So I don't know what she's talking about. I think this whole thing with her and Kenya, when, you know, they kind of got into their little tiff and tat thing, I think that kind of is like Portia's little thing, and like, oh, I'm going to anger management, and that's great, but that doesn't mean you're still not shady. Like, there's shady police officers. Phaedra's a shady lawyer, obviously, you know, from what we're seeing on the show. So there's all kind of different stuff going on, and I just think that we're going to see how everything's going to play out in the next couple of... Hey, girl! You want to come say hi to the people? Yeah. Okay, come say hi. Uh-oh, let's move this. Say hey, people. Hi, people. Say how y'all doing? Hi, doing. Say my mom? My mom was watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. What you think about, you think Portia crazy? You think Portia crazy? You do? And do you think Phaedra was being messy? No. What about Kenya? Do you like Kenya? No. Is Kenya messy? No. Okay. What you think about Kandi? Do you think Kandi should be upset? Look, do you think Kandi should be upset? No. And what about Cynthia? You like Cynthia's hair tonight? It was big and puffy. You liked her hair? No. What about Sheree? You think her house is cute? She has a nice house? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. She got the house. She got a big house? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Is Sheree's house better or Kenya's? Sheree's house. Hey, Team Chateau Sheree. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen next week. But overall, it's just going to be a matter of what's going to happen at the end there. But next week, I guess they're going to start off with Portia and Kandi stuff. Like how they, you know, started to be not cool anymore. So anyway, we're going to get into that. Like I said, the end of it, I was like, really? That was the end? Like we just went through all that Botox and boob job stuff and that's all we got? Y'all could have gave us a little bit more because But anyway, we'll see how this plays out. I think it's 4 parts, so we'll see how it plays out. Maybe next week I'll have a little bit better, you know, set up, or maybe I'll come back at the end. But I kind of like coming in, letting y'all know how I was feeling after each little segment, and then coming back at the end and let you know what I think. Pick it up.
I need to sing.
You need to sing? Okay, go ahead and sing for the people. What you gonna sing? Okay, go ahead.
No, the door open.
No, it won't open. Just go ahead and sing. Go ahead and sing. Now this is a Real Housewife. This is reality TV right here. All right, guys. So stay tuned to part 2 next week, next Sunday. I'm gonna be uploading as immediately after everything. So let me know what you guys thought about this part 1 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me know what you thought. This is real raw. No special effects, no special editing. I'm just gonna put it up and let's get the conversation popping down below. Like I said, usually I don't do these type of videos, but I watch the Golden Girls every day, okay? Like, that's my television. And so when the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I watch them. That's my, I guess my guilty pleasure is to watch them because, I'm not saying it's right to laugh at people in their situations, but it's kind of like comic relief of the whole week and just things that you're going through personally. So, it's just juicy gossip, Hey, but as African-American women, I hope that they do a little bit better and, and congratulate each other where it's due. But we're going to see what's happening next week. Let me know. This is my first time doing something like this, so I'm sorry if it's all over the place, but I felt like I should come to you raw and real and let you guys know what I was thinking. And this, like I said, is a guilty pleasure for me. I love Real Housewives of Atlanta, so I had to do it this season. I've never done it in any other season, but this season I had to do it because it's gonna be juicy. I can tell. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know how you guys are living this Sunday. All right, I will talk to you guys next Sunday. Part 2. Say part 2. Say deuce. No, say peace. She trying to sing. Bye. You say bye?